So I was on the left side of the stage. About 45 minutes prior to Travis coming out is when it started to get intense. There was pushing that started happening behind us. Fights were breaking out. People were throwing water bottles. It was basically a war zone. And it just got worse and worse the closer to when Travis was coming out. I think around the 5-minute mark, the pushing began to be so aggressive. Each time I would be pushed, I'd almost touch the ground. Back and forth, back and forth. And at this point, you're at the mercy of the crowd. We were packed in so tight, we were like sardines in a can. And the feeling was like, imagine someone coming up behind you and bear hugging you as hard as they possibly can. And it's just bodies. So around 5 minutes, people started falling over. And I just remember the look of terror on people's faces around me. Everyone realized, like, we have to get out of here. And I remember there was a girl next to me, and before the pushing had started, she was just saying that she knew she wasn't going to enjoy the concert because she was already, like, I'm tall, so I was able to get air on the top, but everybody else basically was getting suffocated. And so when the pushing started happening, as soon as Travis came out, I felt the flames, and I realized I had to get out of there or I was going to get crushed to death. So I started making my way out, and basically I was telling people to back up. Hey, we're trying to get out. People were rushing the stage. There was one point where someone said, everyone put their hands up. I put my hands up, and I wasn't able to get them back down. When I finally got them back down, I basically teamed up with the people immediately around me, and I told everyone, like, get low and, like, basically put your arms out like this so you can create some space for yourself. And so we're doing that, and I'm starting to make my way out. I hit a fence on the side where a bunch of people had fallen down, and the whole time, like, I'm trying to pull people up, and I'm pulling someone up. There's people on the ground trying to, like, use me to pull themselves up. And I just remember thinking, like, if I fall, it's over for me. So I find a way to get off the wall, and I start going to the back. I'm making my way through the crowd. The whole time the pushing is still happening. The crushing is still happening. And I reach a point where I'm losing consciousness. And I'm like, I look above the crowd. I don't see an end in sight. And I just feel like people pushing me from behind. And finally I hit a pocket of air. And at that point, I just go as fast as I can through the crowd. That night I was wearing a sweater like this and a hoodie, and I sweated through both of them completely. Like, I literally took off my hoodie and I could squeeze it out, and there was sweat. I got to the end and I sat on the sidewalk and just sat there, like, in a daze for minutes. And I just remember bodies everywhere, like limp bodies, people pulling bodies out of the crowd. The minute Travis came out, I went with a friend, and I turned around and looked for him. He was gone. There was no cell phone service, so finally, when I went far back enough, he called me and was like, bro, where you at? I spent 20 minutes on the ground, and there was a girl next to me who was for sure dead. And I didn't realize that people, other than that experience, a day later, he sent me an ABC News article saying that 2 people had died that were standing literally right next to me. And I'll never forget the look of terror on people's faces. That's the thing that sticks with me the most. I remember there was a girl at one point who was holding my hand. I didn't know this girl whatsoever, but she held my hand. I held her hand as long as I could until eventually I lost her in the crowd. But yeah, that was pretty much the experience in a nutshell.
Thank you.
It was a war zone.